Alright, here is a very, very important video. Despite I have not been feeling well, I don't fake things. I have lost a dramatic weight loss that if I take any photos and post it online, my recent photos, my family are not gonna recognize me. That I've never been this thin in my life. I just want to say I'm making this video in case something happened. I'm not accusing anybody at work. I'm not accusing anybody at the hotel where I live. That's not my family hotel, by the way. I've never said that. And if you watch any of my videos, I've never actually said any businesses that is not my family owned, that is my family. I don't say that. I make my own pages that is my own family business back home, I've never said that workplaces are wherever I work since I've got to this town. It's called Dixon. That is my family owned. I never said that. I made another page saying, hey, I work at these companies that is non-government job. The reason why, because there's other things happening. So if in case something happened where people are knowing, I'm not blaming them for the actual cause of my death. First of all, I have some serious murders, killer murders. The three Judas enemies that have been stalking me, my family, years ago, through their ancestry. Then it's passed on. So they're the enemies of my family. I made pages even while I was sent to Texas. So it has nothing to do where I'm working, where I travel. It has nothing to do with that. These people have done things to even my father back in 1991. We're talking about almost 30 years ago. To my sister Vianney, my twin sister. So this has been going on years and years ago, But I just want to make this video. If in case something happened that it caused me death, it has nothing to do with people where I stay, at the hotel or at workplace, even my coworkers, not even manager. The manager could be involved in, probably trying to sexually or doing something like that, or kind of having this access to me that was offered via the government, not the company, taking advantage of, or kind of like firing people, giving them a hard time at work, things like that, or get involved in my family stories. But I'm not also accusing the people that will be the cause of my death in a way. Yeah, they could be part of it, not as the murderers really, but being possessed. That is really a big deal. So this government offer, it has nothing to do with anybody at work, not the manager, not the workers. It has nothing to do with anybody where I stay at the hotel, because I've been, ever since I got here, I stay in a motel here as the same motel that I'm staying at. That's not my family's own business either. All right, so I just want to say this because it's really important. In case if I die, I want my family to know the truth. I want my real supporters, fans all over the world. It doesn't matter if they're from Middle East, European country, African, Asian country, United States. It doesn't matter where they're from, what skin color, black, white, mixed, Christian, Jewish, Muslim. It doesn't matter. Even if they're Judas, non-killer Judas, non-enemies. I want everybody to know the truth on what happened. When I got to this town, the sort of why I come to this town is this is a long story. First of all, it reminds me of where I came from, my hometown back in my country. It's called Duhok, all right, in Kurdistan. But not only in that, it's like my ancestry also comes from other country that is not even Iraq. I'm not just any Kurds. Actually, my family, both the parents were born in Turkey, Kurdish from Turkey. Before Turkey is like German, Austrian, and any country in Europe. The list goes on. Anyways, the story of me coming back, I lived in Tennessee 20 years ago. I went to high school in Nashville, Tennessee, so it's not like I'm not Tennessean. I'm an American citizen too, by the way. Me and my sister moved to Texas long time ago. More like, as I said, 20 years ago after, I was still in high school. But years later, I went overseas. I was still a kid, under age of 25. I had the government jobs. That's why I made a page. It's like the government jobs I worked and non-government jobs. All right. So anyways, the people I work with, they're all professionals like my brother's father, and they were making a scene for Judas. It was, I stayed there 5 years. I'm a professional worker, despite all the dangers, places I've been, things I've seen. There were many times I actually volunteered to help people, of my own money that I was making. I was paid via, government organization and military and all that. Well, the government organization would pay me while I was overseas. So every government jobs with military and all that, I was paid by the government. So it's not like now, it's non-government jobs. It has nothing to do with government. So the reason I'm explaining all this, in case something happens, so everybody knows what happened. Anyways, so years ago, about almost 15 years ago, I was overseas. That was all government job for 5 years. All right. So years later, you know, in 2009, I returned back to the United States. I didn't work for a while, you know, until 2000, I believe, 14. I started working just a regular job, non-government job, somewhere in a grocery store. I was an assistant manager, making decent money then in you know, taxes. And until one night I was kidnapped. The person that kidnapped me was representing Double Azzadori Paul in court at that time, maybe through Judas. So I was really for real kidnapped. The actor was actually an actor hired by the government to make a scene, so that way I know who's my enemies. In 2014, after Paul McCartney faked his death. So I was one night after work, you know, I was an assistant manager, so I have to close the store, you know, count the money, close all the register and all that. So by the time we close the store, it's like almost 1 o'clock sometimes. And that night, you know, I was kidnapped after work, and he put the gun in my head, gave me your credit card, took my money, and threw me out of the car. So then I called a real police officer. He was dressed as a fake police officer's uniform, had a gun, all that. So I didn't know if who was that. And then I figured out they were making a scene for Double Azzadori to make a scene. So that's why I was not killed. And then later I called the real police officer. They were all over the place, and it was like, oh, so they were looking for the guy, what happened and all that. And then they were like, oh, it was on the news. And then I had a free, you know, private investigator. It was kind of like a joke. The idea was just trying to expose that I have enemies, and they're not governments. They call them Illuminati sometimes. What kind of Illuminati, you know? I think it's kind of ridiculous what people are saying online. They even accuse my own family, like my mom back home. She doesn't even live in the United States anymore. It's really ridiculous because they think like my family is really agreeing with what government sometimes do. Sometimes it may look like it's helping me, but really it's killing me. Like this, offering me to people have this access to me, and they have to have my blood samples. So it's like it's killing me because I already have this low blood already. So I just made this page today. I was not feeling good for like almost, it's been a week. I've been not feeling good for like a month, but it's been a week. I'm really not feeling well. I had fever. I stand up. I dropped yesterday. You know, 2 days, like 3 days ago, I couldn't go to work. I take like sleeping pills. I couldn't even wake up. When I wake up, I stand up and I drop on the floor. So I couldn't go to work because of this government offer where people have access to me. So I made this page so everybody knows. And in that case, what happened? You know, my family is, we're not the Kardashian. That's Sabriya's. Let me show you all something very important. This page, these people, okay, hold on a second. Let me tell you something very important on this page that I created for Sabriya and her children. And Jahangir is not Double Azzadori, guys. This is not my family. Sabriya is the only Kennedy sister. Jesus Christ is Chris. That's not Chris from Nirvana band. That's Sabriya Rosh Kurdi. You know, she's the only sister of the Kennedy Kurdi Rosh sister, Jesus Christ family. This Qaidar, her son Rob, it's not a Kennedy brother. Okay, they were just referring because they're like, well, Sabriya sometimes was like our mom, but she is not. It's not like even like Sabiha, you know, and all that. And so this is not us. This is not us, the Kennedy Kurdi Rosh family. They're part of the Kennedys, but I'll call more of we're a relative. Like her children, her husband, and all that. She's, of course, the Kennedy sister. So Kendall Jenner, it's not me, guys. This is Kendall. Why? I'm not Kendall Jenner, but she was in that new commercial when I got to this town. You know, the idea of the Pepsi. They're talking about me. You know, that everybody drinks. They take my DNA sample so that way everybody has access to me. Supposed to be the government saving me, so everybody can have the mind to mind, where everybody is pretty much becoming like me. They think like me, super intelligent being. They have access to me, all my family. You know, it's, as I said, it's like mind to mind. They know everything I do. It's basically being part of I really hate to say that because usually Judas do that. They steal the part, but I'm not blaming people. They didn't ask for it. The government actually offered this my blood, samples and all that to everybody, not just in a workplace, not at the hotel, not at just grocery store, everybody in Tennessee. And some people say it's not just in Tennessee, it's everywhere now. So there was a commercial, obviously this commercial from Kendall. I'm not Kendall, guys. I'm not Kendall Jenner. She's playing role as me. All right. The Pepsi, it's me, Priscilla. So everybody's drinking me. So that way, it's supposed to be like united or something. So everybody can make a scene, save me from these Judas because they're after me. This Game of Three and all that, what they did to my family. But it really is drawing me, my energy, to death. Because imagine I'm one person, and there's so many people out there. So that was one video, and then I'm just giving people an example of this picture where it says untold story. I'm in Priscilla, guys. Annie, it's Princess Annie, it's Sabiha, she was like a mother, and this is my dad, Ferman. Alright, I'm just making sure sometimes our stories with our own brother's father, because it's talking about how things were created from the very beginning when Adam and Eve. And Adam is not Adam Levine, by the way. Adam would be my family from Jesus Christ family. When things were first created on earth, there were just few people. So of course there was like brother, sister marrying each other. So that's how it was. It's meant to be supposed to be something holy, because that's how things were first created on earth. There was no so many people. So it was like that. There's nothing sickening about that. All right. So that's just that. That's why our stories remains with my brother, sister, father, parents. All right. So I obviously see that photos. I don't know why I'm posting 3 times, but you see this article where it's talking about the blood samples, how government have blood samples. I don't believe it's like just anybody's blood sample, but very important family, like my family, the Kennedy Coolidge Bush family, Jesus Christ family. They store our DNA in like storage of, where government store them. It doesn't matter what state, but they also offer like this offer when I got to this town. They give this offer to everybody to have access to me. And by doing so, remember I'm one person. By doing so, it's basically drawing me to death because I'm one person. Now, me and my brother, sister, and parents are part of each other's by birth? Yes. So having my DNA is basically having my whole family's DNA, brother, sister, and parents. Why? Because we're part of each other's. Because they're my real parents and brother, sisters. That's why. So basically having the access to everybody in my family, my real brother, sister. All right, so this government offer is really meant to be helping. I'm not blaming anybody. I'm not saying, oh, people asked for it, they stole from me, like the Judah, they stole from me and my brother, sister, and what they did to my dad. No, it has nothing to do with that. I'm not calling anybody killers, but people could be involved from here and there. Like, could be people from my work saying, oh, this is interesting. They can take things to another level, get involved with Judas, getting demon possessed, and kind of taking advantage of what's going on. I don't recommend people to do that because we're talking about murderers would do such a thing. I personally believe, I spoke to a friend of mine, she has been like a friend of mine, Carol, and that's not Adam, that's not no Baptist or whatever, Carol Adam. That's my friend. She was like my sister Vianney. Carol, she lives in Texas. She actually told me she believes that also there's a part of where government offer me as a blood sacrifice, because there were even people start calling my mom as the Queen Elizabeth. They're talking about my mom, Rose Kennedy, as she's offering me, she's accepting it for me to be offered as a blood sacrifice to people drink me to have access to me. That's kind of a sound more like a blood sacrifice. If you don't understand what blood sacrifice is, it's like a satanic ritual. They offer a person his blood, everybody drinks it, and in that case that person dies, and I'm that person. All right, now I'm not gonna really accuse people. Are they involved in a blood sacrifice? I don't think they really asked for it. I think the government just kind of saying, she come to this town. There's good part of the government. There's good part of CIA government and all that. It doesn't have to be even in Tennessee. They could be from another state. Saying, I work for the government. I'm a very important person in my family. Well, I'm coming from a very important family. Jesus Christ, the real Jesus Christ family. I post a lot of stuff on Akram. Akram is Jesus, Robert Kennedy. So go watch that movie where Jesus is originated. I may not agree with everything in that movie, but the idea of it, So I'm I'm coming from very important, family, but out of all my family, as far as women, I'm a very important individual in my family because of my jobs overseas. And, as a kid, I played chess and all that, the knowledge and things I know. So I'm not just anybody out there. So even being from an important family, out of all my family, as far as women, I'm the most important one. Not just the most important one on planet Earth, but out of even my own family, I'll be the most important individual in my family. So the government, for my own safety, saying, you know what, when I was in Texas, I would not be able to go anywhere without people just throwing the phones on my face, my sister cameras, while I'm driving at the stop sign, parks. They were not leaving us alone. I got so sick of it, where we had no privacy. Everywhere we went, there were cameras taking pictures of us. So I had to move to Europe last year. Then I had some things going on because I'm an American citizen. I couldn't work there without having work permit, so I had to return to the United States. When I did, I came back to Tennessee. Actually, I stayed with my brother Akram, Robert Kennedy, for a little time, but I had a little, personal issues. I didn't have a little privacy, so I had to come to the town. So I just drove here. I was like, I'm going to church, and I kind of just keep driving, and I end up coming to this town. It's called Dixon. I'm like, well, this is really kind of like my own hometown. It reminds me kind of Europe. So I just actually stayed. I didn't have enough money. I just had enough money for like at least less than a week to pay for the hotel rent. And guys, this hotel I'm staying at, it's not my family hotel. All right, it's just a hotel in this town where I'm staying. But the people where the hotel were very kind to me. There was like a housekeeper, another girl, her name's Christina. They really helped me out, welcomed me. And, I said I'm not from here, and I did not know anybody here. They were like telling me where I can find a job, to go to a company called Talent Force where they can find me a job. So they really did. They helped me to find a job in a few days. So the first job I worked in this town it was a company called Metrican, and for 3 months, I worked there. Everything was okay. I was, as far as even health wise, it was okay until something happened, and stayed there 3 months. Then the job didn't work out. They found me another job, another company to make doors. It's called Messinat. Still working. They kind of like struggling because of, there are people kind of get involved, not workers, but people get involved in like my family stories, trying to make up a story or something, or they believe all the, like magazines. Some magazine I might agree, some articles in the magazine, but that doesn't mean everything is true. This should tell people something. The Kardashian family, this is my family. This page is my family. This is our hotel, and this is not the hotel I'm staying at. Guys, this hotel Jian is on my name, but this is my family's name. This is our hotel back in my country, and our school. We have like our other businesses. I just put this as an art on there. That's our own self. So this is my family. This is my actual brother, sister, the Jesus Christ family. This is not my family, except for Sabria. She's the Kennedy sister. But all her sister children are not my brother's sister, guys. I'm not her children either. Her husband are not the Kennedy brothers. I'm not saying anything about her husband being double Azaduri, anything like that, but I'm just saying, like, this is not my family, okay? This is Keeping Up with the Kardashian. That's the Sabria Jahangir's story, and they don't even live in the United States. They actually live in Kurdistan. All right, this is just like, their stories in like, it doesn't matter if they don't live in the United States, the story is going to continue on. So that's their story. It's not my family's story. All right. That's what I was like offering people at work if they want to be referred. They don't have to, because this is the actual, that doesn't mean I'm offering people to be like a family. That doesn't mean they have to go like actually really be obsessed with their story and not be proud of their self, because you don't know what these kids is going to say on their page. I don't think they even have Facebook. I don't know if they do, but sometimes I do talk to them, in my language, in Kurdish. They don't really speak English. So I don't recommend people to be too possessed where what if this boy says something and people don't like it. But they're actually very educated. They're all like college graduates. Some are still in school. They're very educated, respectful kids. I'm coming from a very respectful kid. So my relatives, the page I made, my relatives are not Judas. They may have mixed up with the Judas a long time ago, but they're not these three Judas. They're not Paul Daly's family or even Oliver Stone's family. They're not Scooter. Just I was like offering people, not just even at work, just like outside work, if you want to be like a relatives, family, friends, or things like that, you're more than welcome. That's why I moved to this town. It reminds me of my hometown. So I'm not separating any kind of disease from Judas. that something happened to me and my family, I'm not bringing to the town. I'm warning people how to stay safe. I'm telling people how, if in case you got hunted or stalked, I'm not doing that. They're stalking me and my family everywhere I go. It doesn't matter if it's a European country, Middle Eastern, African, Asian. It doesn't matter where I go. They will still be haunting me and my family. So it doesn't matter. But again, this is not me. Kendall, these girls are not me and my sister, brother. This is not Jesus. But as I said again, they're very respectful people. So I was offering people at work, since you have the government actually have this access given to everybody to me, you already read my mind, so you're more than welcome at least to be relatives, not my actual family. The reason I'm not allowing anybody just to be my family, because as I said, that's the real Jesus Christ family. I don't like for my brothers or father being accused of murdering me, raping me, something they didn't do, because people are doing something, so my family will get accused for it, so I'm not allowing anybody to do that. My family story is going to remain my family stories based on how things were created. Sometimes you'll be like, oh, how people are wondering how did I kiss my own brother in Titanic movie. Leonardo is Jason. Sometimes Leonardo is playing a role as Akram. So it's like brothers are like that. Brothers could be playing role as each other, as a father, as a brother. That's how it is in my family. But our story remain in my family. That's the way it is. It's talking about how things were created, that we were the very first being on earth. That's why sometimes you see the stories all like that, and it's gonna stay like that. So I don't offer people to be actually my brother, sister, father. I'm not making pages for anybody at all. I have those some pages, YouTube channel years ago, like 2009, 10. I was not even in Tennessee. This page I also did not make for anybody at work. I made this page also, I believe, when I was in Austria or after I returned from Europe. So I'm not doing that. This is their actual story. I'm not making anything because of people at work either. I'm just offering, if they want to be referred as my relatives, they're more than welcome, because they're all very friendly people, respectful, or like educated. I'm not making any story because I'm promoting anybody. No, they're more than welcome to be referred. It's always good to work together and be like a family instead of worshiping a false devil worshiper like Scooter Braun. Scooter Braun is not Sabria's son, Rob Kardashian. Yes, he's not. You know who's Scooter Braun? Scooter Braun is Qusay Hussein, Saddam Hussein's son. That's their story. All right. Now I made this page actually. Hold on, let me show you something very important. This page I recently made also. This is Paul Dali's family. The Saddam Hussein's brother. So sometimes, remember, they are their own sister, they are their own mom, they are their own father. But sometimes they were called in fact, the fake doctor, they were calling Scooter Braun, LBG, the fake doctor Scooter Braun as their father. I don't know why, but there's a reason why, because of his name. So let me show you something else. All right, so this is my father. The reason I posted on their page, because everybody can see it. This is actually our real father, okay, the Jesus father. This Ferman, sometimes he's like my father. Well, some people say he's my father. It doesn't matter. This is all my family. This is Akram as Jesus. And this is Scooter Braun. A lot of people mistaken Scooter Braun with my family. Scooter Braun is not my family. His name is Qusay Hussein. That's Saddam Hussein's son. All right. So this is where I don't want people to get involved, because when you get involved, you're asking for some serious murderous things that you do not want to be haunted. Whether it's your family, your children, whoever's gonna be haunted by your family. I recommend this to everybody, not people just at work. There could be people outside work saying, hey, well, this is interesting. This is my manager. This is not my manager. This guy, Scooter Braun, hires a kid. I was a kid. I'm still, people say I have a kid face. Justin Bieber. I'm Jacqueline Bouvier. Justin Bieber. It's my story, guys. Justin Bieber, I'm Jacqueline Bouvier, right? It's my story. When he hires this kid as Justin Bieber, it's because when I was a kid, okay, Ferman, let me show you something very important. Hold on, I'm gonna show you all something very important. Ferman, this is Ferman. I live with Ferman and Amina, his wife. That's called Princess Diana. Sometimes it was possessed by Paul McCartney. She was possessed by Paul McCartney. So that's why they were saying Paul McCartney would live inside Amina to sleep with Ferman, because he does not like women. He likes to sleep with men. He slept with Akram, Jason, all the Kennedy brothers, even Ted Kennedy. So Joseph Kennedy, Ted Kennedy, Robert Kennedy, John Kennedy. He slept with all Kennedy brothers. In fact, some people were saying even the Kennedy father, Jesus' father. Paul McCartney did Adam and Kurt Cobain. It started off with Paul McCartney and Kurt Cobain. All right, so let me show you all something very, very actually important, so people can understand. I'm not promoting any kind of type of transgenders in any ways. I was born a woman, I'm still a woman, all right? As a kid, a lot of people thought I was actually, they did not know if I was a female. I'm a female. I'm growing up woman, because Ferman had my hair very short. It was cut very short. I was playing chess and soccer. I'm not stalking anybody. No. Soccer, like it's a game boy play, girls sometimes play. They have teams, you know. So usually I play boys activities so people would not know if I was a female or male. But I was actually born a female. I'm still a female. I may have some type of beings on me. They're male, and I may have some even stuff even from my own family they put on me, because they kind of trying to mix things up. We're already part of each other's. I don't understand why these demonic motherfuckers do this.